Hey guys, me again with another YouTube video. Today we're going to take a look at a model that we've looked at before, but it was incredibly old and outdated, and I was incredibly surprised that going back to it, it kind of stood the test of time, but then I thought about it and I was like, nah, we could do better. I've grown in my ways of building, so we can definitely do better. I want to go ahead and take a little bit of inspiration and a little bit of time to give credit to Caro uh, Extreme Guns because I was browsing through his channel looking for ideas of what to do, and I came across his Battlefield Hardline 300 Knockout, which for those of you who do not know, that's a custom gun made particularly for that game, but it's a Remington MSR base with an integral suppressor, which is like the coolest idea ever. I had a Remington MSR, that's the model that we're going to be taking a look at this video, and all I needed to do was then add enough room on the inside of it to have a 4-wide suppressor. So that meant that I needed to come back through and redo what I had. So to start with, this is the original Remington MSR in comparison to the new Remington MSR. So the main difference between the new and the old is this section sitting down here. This is the old Remington MSR handguard that I had, which again, it stands the test of time because it looks like a really good handguard. I'm really happy that I was able to accomplish that. But then this kind of cheats in that it uses black square tiles to represent that you can see through that there are holes in the handguard at that point in time. And then on the new version, using some techniques that I used off of Ash from Rainbow Six Siege R4C, I got the actual vents to line up as they should be. So now you can actually see through it entirely, which is more appropriate to the model as opposed to just having the effect like you could. So this handguard was removed. This handguard was placed on, as you can see here. It looks fantastic. I'm really happy with it. The rails were replaced with 3-stud Y rails, and then I just grabbed the iron sights off of Ash's R4C while I had it imported for the handguard, and I think those iron sights do just fine, to be completely honest with you. So that right there was honestly good enough for me in terms of finishing the Remington MSR. So from there we went on to doing a few other like really small minor things. So for instance, this edge of the magazine well, I went ahead and I flared just to make it look smoother and better. I did oh, never mind. Yeah. So on this version of the MSR, the stock folded the wrong direction, which was kind of lame because it's supposed to fold in this direction to encapsulate the bolt. So I fixed that on this version. You can see that it does fold as it's supposed to and fit over the bolt, I believe, which is nice. I also went with the teal color because I don't use the teal color all too often, and I felt like using it here, so I did. I also did a little bit of some changes to the magazine so that you can now fit some rounds stacked up on top of each other into the magazine, which is a really good touch. Someone just called me? I don't feel anyone call me, but apparently someone did. Okay. So this is a 4-stud wide magazine that fits in a 6-stud wide magazine well, but you can't really tell, so it's no big deal. And then the actual cartridges were designed and placed in a double stack fashion so that you do fit 5 in the magazine itself, which is really nice. At this point, I was already ready to go. I was done. I was happy with it. I was good. But then I got called out in my different usernames Discord for doing all this work up here and making this look really good, but doing nothing back here, leaving all of this to look horrible. And I decided at that point that we need, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Back to our 300 knockout from Battlefield Hardline. Pretty simple. We just put the integral suppressor in and then called it a day. And then, like I was saying before, I got called out for doing all this work up here, but no work back here. So we went back through and we updated the grip so that it's now 2 studs in front, 2 studs in back, 4 studs on the side, so that it's actually kind of rounded. And then we updated the stock as well so that portions of it are in 3 studs and portions of it are in 4 studs. And the rail systems on the stock are now in 3 studs as well. And this is what we inevitably ended up with. So this is what we're actually looking at. We've already basically gone over everything that we need to gone over in the original Remington MSR video. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead. This is a free float handguard. So the barrel is all the way down there at the end, not touching anything. And you saw in our rendered image here that the 4 stud wide barrel does fit all the way down the full length of this as well. So I never went back and updated this into the Battlefield Hardline Knockout version. So we don't have that fully updated, but that's relatively simple. You just replace the barrel, honestly, and then be done with it. This is a really, really complicated barrel design going on, but as you can see all the way through it, so that really paid off, and I was really happy with it entirely. Magazine, you can see through as well, which is really nice. I like to be able to see how much rounds we have left in the magazine. Flared magwell, pretty basic. Fuciotti 32 inspired trigger, as you can see here. Magazine release here. Updated grip so that it's 2 studs in front, 2 studs in back, 4 studs on the side, and then you can see that it actually narrows down using these pieces here, just like it does on the real life version. Bolt is pretty simple. You can see a round from the top of the magazine here, which is nice. And the stock does fold as it's supposed to. 3 studs wide in some places, 4 studs wide in others, 6 in the cheek rest area, 4 in the back, and it still retains all of the adjustability of the original model itself. So that right there is the Remington MSR Mark III, complete 2.5. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, comment, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. Eventually, I will update this into the Battlefield Hardline Knockout. But until then, this is what we have to work with. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later in another YouTube video.